I was working in, I like to say I've designed everything from dustpans to 3D printers before deciding to start my own sex toy company. I got into this because I wanted to see better quality, better engineered sex toys out on the market.
Yeah, so I started studying sex tech about a year ago. I come from a background in technology. I used to work at Microsoft, and I moved from enterprise tech to consumer tech. I worked with Absolute, set up their innovation lab. And it was there that I came across sex tech through doing a study on the future of entertainment. And that was fascinating to me in terms of just what the implications were for things like VR porn in 5 years' time, when everyone has access to that in their family homes, and how does that change the dynamic of relationships. And that just spun me on this big journey into what is sex tech, what does that mean for us.
And I think I've been using tech constantly in my practice, sometimes in very obvious ways and sometimes in very subtle ways. And
the recent tsunami of feminism that's been happening over the past 10 years has involved people talking a lot more openly, especially women talking a lot more openly about their sexual experiences, but also allowing men to talk more emotionally. When you open that up, you create an opportunity. You create an opportunity for people to admit that there are problems. You create an opportunity for people to see crossovers, to take other technology and apply it to sexual lives, sexual experiences.
Yeah, even in like the past year, this word sex tech has blown up, and the feminism that has been happening for the past 10 years really has come to a head, with the sex tech space in the past year. And you see stuff like JWT released an intelligence report for this year and titled it 2017, the year of vagina-nomics, so vagina and economics.
Putting sensors on things so that it can learn from your body and help you understand better what you like and what you don't like, and also be able to communicate better what you like and what you don't like. And I think that that's sort of the first place that people's minds go when they think sex tech or, better vibrators. What we tend to focus on is the connection between intimacy and vibrators. So how do we make vibrators that kind of fade away into an experience and add more to female pleasure without, especially in a couples setting, detracting from what's going on already. So that's maybe a more nuanced way that people are looking at innovation in sex tech, is looking at how do we sort of redefine the problems, and how do we look at the sexual side and the emotional side, and how do we address both of them at the same time, because it's such a connected experience.
Meaning he's getting real-time tactile feedback from the media that he's watching, and he's using VR to create a deeper, more enriched porn experience. All of that does not come close to approximating what it feels like to have sex with a real person, but it's something. It's a step forward that helps him to manage anxiety, gain ejaculatory control, understand the sensations that are happening in his own body. I work with a couple in which one of the partners is autistic, somewhere on the spectrum, and just can't handle sexual touch. Well, they are able to have a sexual experience by using a vibrator, oh my bod, that's Bluetooth controlled. And the partner is able to control the speed and the sensation of the vibrator, and they're able to have a connected sexual experience. So, those are just some of the ways in which I'm every day trying to cobble together tech and sex to create solutions.
And have this whole experience with this person, also tactically feel this, and the senses are so amazing that at what point does that become cheating? And so we start to ask the ethical questions. Is having sex in VR with a cock sleeve in this, is this cheating for you? How do you negotiate that in a relationship? And so I think the demand for sex education and just like having a conversation is so huge, and our attitudes are so far behind, and yet the technology is so advanced that we could call up anyone, the guy that we just met in the elevator, if we know his name, can call him up into a fantasy. And that will become very real and very mainstream in the next 5 to 10 years, but right now it kind of seems out there, and we think that it's just like in the past couple of decades that we've known about female pleasure.
It's not the surface of the moon. We
I
could
know.
know.
What
We
the
could
hell?
know.
What the hell?
We could know what's going on between women's legs. It's not the surface of the moon.
Oh.
And we don't know nearly as much as we should.
That is crazy to me. There is an opportunity right there.
An app on the site where you would use your mouse to imitate the masturbation technique, and the app responds with feedback saying like, okay, sort of got it. No, not feeling it. Oh yeah, right there, right there. So it's a really wonderful site.
Just because you like steak doesn't mean you don't want to have steak and ice cream. You know, like trying to phrase it in a way where you're explaining that different things are going to create different sensations, and you particularly focusing on, if you're talking about vibrators that aren't shaped like penises and are very clearly non-male replacing. It can be a lot easier to understand that you're not trying to replace someone, you're trying to augment experiences, you're trying to increase the number of flavors.
There's a lot of big questions about the future of sex work going on at the moment, and will sex workers become replaceable? And is that right? Do you no longer have to have sex with that person physically to exchange money on for sex work? So you can connect your cock sleeve to a sex worker on the other side of the world, and she can give you a hand job or have sex with you or whatever. So that's really interesting from sex workers being able to have additional sources of income. It's a lot safer. They're able to monetize a lot more efficiently in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the concept of sex work itself opens up more the possibility of having a curated experience without having to go through what we consider like extra steps. Like if someone wants to have a curated experience, they can hire a sex worker, and it's more convenient for everyone.